Yeah, I'm recording.
Why?
Recording. Sorted. Let the bants commence. I've been watching Chris D'Elia's video, apologising video.
Oh yeah?
What's he been-
How did it go?
That was alright. Did you see it?
No.
I thought you loved Chris D'Elia.
I mean, I don't want to go on record saying that, but
Well, you're going to be.
I mean, I definitely found him. I found him pretty funny. He was engaging. Loads of people found him funny.
Alright, we're just going to clip that out.
You sound like a mafiosi. Do you like Chris D'Elia? Loads of people like Chris D'Elia.
An Irish mafia.
I am technically Irish, actually. I got Irish citizenship
Oh, where do you get that from?
from Ireland.
How?
No,
Yeah.
I was born in Ireland, Craigavon in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, actually.
Oh yes, in Northern Ireland you get Irish citizenship. I thought they just might have been mistaken because you're from Billericay, and they're like, this probably sounds like it's from Ireland. Give them a citizenship. Maybe I should try and get Italian citizenship.
How would you get that?
They haven't done anything in recent history that's been bad. Anyway,
How would you get that?
I've got Italian ancestry
And
Got
Welsh.
Welsh ancestry too.
and Welsh, but like Wales doesn't give its own separate passports. And no,
Maybe
I think
soon.
I think the Italian nationality law is very generous, and I wonder if there's an extra bit because they were Jewish and they left in the 20s, or like the last bits of our family. Although
Oh, your family were Jewish?
the Italian part of it were,
Really? Is
yeah,
this on your mum's side or your dad's side?
my mum's side. But only my
Wow.
great-grandmother was Jewish, but Italian nationality law. And also, I think if you have... The problem is that she wasn't actually... My family left, I think, because the family that lived there, they left to go to Egypt and then to Israel, I think, because of events surrounding... I don't really understand what was happening in the 20s and 30s and 40s, but something was happening.
Something bad.
Something bad, but they all kind of left, I think. But my great grandmother left before then to marry my my great granddad. So I'm not sure whether that counts. But sometimes with these kind of things, you actually get a bigger window on top of that if you're Jewish and you're chased out.
Hang on. How come you're not Jewish then?
Because my great grandmother was Jewish.
Yeah, but doesn't it pass down? Wouldn't that go to your grandmother, then your...
Then my granddad. Then it stopped with my granddad if you're following like
okay. I get you.
the rules. Also, no, she didn't tell anyone she was Jewish, I think.
It was
So people in the
secret.
family weren't like aware of
like
it.
Safety reasons. Just because
I don't know. But I just know that apparently when my dad went, my granddad went to school, everyone used to make fun of him because they thought he looked Jewish. And he was like, I'm not Jewish. And then it turns out he was Jewish, or his mother was Jewish.
The bullies were right.
That's like what you end up. The bullies are always right in the a good message, isn't it?
Yeah, like on YouTube when it says, "Is this appropriate for kids?" Let's never tick that box.
No, we don't want to tick that box. We're not making
Yeah.
kid-friendly material.
My biological sister said this to me. So I say biological sister because to say that technically it can't. I guess it can't be racist. She's my full sister. But she just said I look like a generic brown person, and like at first I was a little offended by it, but it's kind of true because so many different people from different ethnicities seem to empathize with me or see themselves in me just because I look like various brown races. A mate of mine from Qatar at the uni I went to, he always came to me, my brother, come to me, and he said he could name the exact town that I looked like I came from.
Oh way!
Yeah, it's fun. It's strange, and yeah.
But the weird thing is, I met someone from Qatar, and they were like they were like paler than me. Crazy.
Yeah, there's lots of different. Yeah, Ibi. He comes from Egypt. He's pretty
The bodybuilder.
He builds his body. Yeah, he's
I heard about yours two rivalries.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're boisterous and we play a lot of rough and tumble. We wrestle quite often whenever we're physically around each other. mildly homoerotic way.
Who is this?
It's a good friend of mine, Ibi.
Okay.
His parents are both from Egypt. He's Egyptian by ethnicity, but he's pretty light skinned. But he's got some Egyptian mates, who are biologically, Egyptian, but some of them can be really dark. Ibi, for example, has got sort of Afro-Caribbean style hair. It's black and very like quite thick and very curly. Like if you grew it out, it would become like an afro basically, and beard and stuff. But he's also
that's like pretty common. Kind of that's a similar thing to like the Jufro, where you have like a really curly.
Maybe.
But I think Herodotus described Egyptians as having very curly hair.
Who did?
Herodotus. He's like an ancient Greek historian. He also said that they had much thicker skulls than Persians, and that's why they win in fights with them sometimes. But yeah, he loved Egypt. He basically said that everything came from Egypt and made up a load of pharaohs who invented things.
He was like the first historian, right?
He's known as the father of history. Yeah, he's the he's the first he's not the first historian, but probably, but he's the first surviving.
And is
history.
he the one who wrote the story of the Persian Wars or one of the big wars between?
The Persian invasion. So he was
but he wrote it quite a lot later, right?
I'm not sure how much. I'm not certain of the dates. He's not like Thucydides, who was basically he wrote his history of the Peloponnesian War really, really close to it.
Oh, okay.
And Thucydides. So Thucydides, sometimes some people call Herodotus the father of history and the father of lies because he's a lot bigger. But in the other hand, Herodotus is a lot more cosmopolitan than people like Thucydides. So he's very interested in what people do in India, in Egypt, in Scythia, and in Ethiopia and in Persia. And he kind of treats them as he's kind of interested in culture a lot more, whereas Thucydides is very Greeky.
A bit of an anthropologist.
Greeky.
Yeah. So
and cheeky Greeky.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the tall tales I think Herodotus gets might be because he goes to he said he talks to people and about what their history is. So if you go into an Egyptian temple, they probably tell you lots of cool stuff about how Egypt invented everything.
And he just takes it as fact.
Well, so he has lots of crazy stuff. Yeah, he does some of the stuff is surprisingly accurate for what it is if you but some of the stuff is just crazy. And there's also the idea that no one lives in Arabia because of all the flying snakes that are there. And
that's
things
that's his idea.
Giant ants and stuff. I'm not sure where he got the information from because there's lots of this information that goes and he has the long-lived Ethiopian, which I think is the Kush. They're the people that they're kind of basically an Egyptian Ethiopian culture.
They're
that later became
the southern Egypt that had a war with Egypt, or did they divide off?
Yeah, they're called I think they're called Kushite dynasty, but I'm not sure. They've got their own name for their state, and they're actually incredibly impressive. I think in Somalia they've got incredibly impressive pyramids, and they developed their own art style and sculpture style afterwards. After they kind of stop being pharaohs of Egypt, but they're still a very powerful power.
And that's where we get the word Kushti from.
Yeah, it means it's
comfy,
pretty cool
Kushti.
Yeah,
I think Del Boy had a master's in Egyptology. I think
Del Boy says Kushti.
Yeah.
No, is he the first one to say it? Because I thought it was one of our friends.
It's pretty old.
I know for sure Del Boy said it before your friend. I don't know who said it before Del Boy.
Oh my god! I thought that was stoner. I thought that was stoner slang that came around.
Possibly
from our friend, invented by our friend. All stoner slang.
A slang is slang for weed, right?
What?
Kush.
Yeah, Kush.
Yeah, Kush is a variety, right? Afghan Kush, as they call it.
Push that Kush, yeah.
Because I think, because I always was really confused when I was reading about the Kushite dynasty, because I always thought of the Kush as something in Afghan, because it's a place in Afghanistan, isn't it? Or a thing.
Oh, it must you thought they were related.
Oh yeah, I was like, what the fuck are these Cushy people? The two Cushes. What happened?
They're just laid back.
Our friend, our stoner friend, invented things like calling a marijuana cigarette a spliff, and all the other stoner slang.
The Buddha.
Fatty boom batty. Now that's a
Right.
classic one.
How about Koch? We must have invented Koch.
Obviously not.
Peng? Penang Brer?
No, Peng is definitely.
The thing is, all right, I didn't think we invented it, but the thing is, we would get a lot of slang from like London, wouldn't we, in Hartford? But like
Yeah.
years too late.
Well, I actually knew that Peng was the Peng. I knew about the Peng slang before it became of any use in Hartford because I heard it in the Hackney Empire. Because like
So you brought it
when
back.
I go with my I didn't because I was like I didn't think I was the one to introduce slang into Hartford, even though I was staying with my dad and we went to Hackney Empire like we always do, and they use Peng. But I think by the time it's being used in like a pantomime,
Do you mean
it
the
might not be
start?
the coolest slang.
You mean the
I don't think
start?
it's-
They were using it in the pantomime.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
that's-
So
that's
we were
right.
so late.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to be fair, oh my God, if you ever need to go to, if Clive Rowe's still around doing them, go to the Hackney Empire. I was like from the age of like I don't know 7 to like 15. He never had a dud pantomime.
Clive Rowe.
Clive Rowe. He was in Tracy Beaker. He played the big.
They
fat
brought
chef.
back Tracy Beaker.
Have they?
You don't know
Has she-
this.
Now, has she been dumped back into the dumping ground at like 30? Like, oh my God, please.
I have no idea what you're talking about because I didn't watch the last episode. But apparently she's a mother now, and she's the same actress.
But wait a minute, is she working in the dumping ground?
I don't know what the dumping ground is.
The
It's
dumping
the
ground is like her slang way of talking about the orphanage, right?
Oh,
Yeah, it's like the care home. It's portrayed as incredibly bad, but throughout the series, it's just like a real cool place. Like it's the kind of basically what made me want to be thinking like, oh, I want to be in the dumping ground. Much better than the after school club, which we had after primary school and we had to be at. And then this little kid, went into the diametric middle of the entire room and shit himself.
What?
So it equidistantly the smell emanated. There was no escape.
That is Poo Bandit to the max.